Welcome to CX Wins Podcast, a show where customer experience professionals share their biggest wins, real customer stories, and their vision for the future of CX. Let's welcome our today's guest, Ashley Taylor. Ashley, can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hi, so I'm Ashley Taylor. I lead customer experience and oversight for a systems planning operator within the UK. I've always been passionate about customer experience and improvement throughout my career, but have directly worked in customer experience for the last 7 years. What I enjoy about customer experience is really taking the complex and trying to make it simple, more efficient, innovating and improvement for our customers. Very much driven by making a difference through improvements or innovations, or often just getting the basics right, which I think is what customers really want. Customers don't necessarily want perfection. They just want to know what's going on. Outside of work, love to travel, keep active through sports, mainly football and ice hockey. And I'm also planning on signing up to the High Rocks bandwagon next year. So hopefully that will go well.
Awesome. It is a pleasure to meet you. Ashley, going right into what the show is all about, can you share with us your biggest CX win, something you're personally proud of?
Yeah, sure. The one that springs to mind for me is one of my biggest wins, I would actually say, wasn't just about metrics or pushing value. It was also about empathy as well. Now, it wasn't easy. It meant shifting mindsets, not just processes or journeys or experiences. It related to a bereavement journey where essentially grieving relatives were having to deal with the loss of someone who was quite close to them and deal with a process on their behalf or a journey on their behalf. By understanding what they needed and combining data and insights with storytelling, we were able to completely transform the journey, creating a seamless experience through an omni-channel service, cutting down journey time and time to pay for those customers by about 8 days and increasing our customer ease score by 18 points. Within a year, what I found were customer issues were on average being resolved 25% faster. Collaboration between different teams across the organization had improved dramatically. And for the first time, customer outcomes became a shared business priority rather than departmental or silo goals that we were typically used to working with. Now, the part that I think I'm most proud of within that CX win there is not only did we transform the customer journey, but I also launched a bereavement support facility, which was built out of experts who were able to coach and support our customers. So not only through the journey, but also helping with the situation that they were facing, which from an empathetic journey and helping to deal with our vulnerable customers, I think that was the biggest win for me, not just the metrics, but also the empathy side that we showed as well during that time.
Moving to the next question, can you share with me your favorite or most memorable customer story?
Yeah, sure. One of the most memorable customer stories for me doesn't necessarily relate to my experience. It's actually something I heard about a long time ago, and it's really stuck with me since the day I heard it. There was a customer who had a Mercedes-Benz car, and she was traveling the length of the UK to get back home in time to spend time with her father, who was unfortunately passing away. Now, on the way, one of her tyres had a puncture in it. She wasn't able to make the rest of the journey, so she got essentially stranded. She was able to make it to one of the kind of local Mercedes-Benz dealers to almost push her car in there and hopefully try and get a new tyre to be set on her way and make the most of the time she had left with her father. Now, this particular Mercedes-Benz garage that she ended up going into didn't have a tyre the right size, and it would have taken some time to order some. So without thinking, one of the kind of floor managers or the service manager grabbed one of the mechanics from the garage, pulled him into kind of the front showroom and took one of the wheels and tires off one of the cars which was on on show, essentially, jacked it up, took the tire off, put the tire onto the customer's car, and essentially sent her on her way so she could make that journey. So I thought that was a really good example of a customer story and putting a customer first. Now, customers would be going in and out of that showroom all day and often all asking why there was a Mercedes car with 3 wheels rather than 4 in the middle of the showroom. And it just had an impact when telling that story. Of course, it resonated with a lot of customers. Now, there's far more that goes into buying a car than just that story. And Mercedes-Benz, as we know, is a luxury vehicle. So there's a lot more considerations to make when buying a car itself. But that story has really stuck with me in terms of a great customer experience, but also having a lasting impact where that story through the years has just got round through voice and has been shared widely. And I think it's just a fantastic example of putting people or humans first and making things happen when customers need us the most.
This is exceptional. I'm sure he didn't expect they would do something like this, even for a luxury brand. Doesn't matter. Putting the customer first is really important. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And moving to the last question, what do you think the future of customer experience looks like?
I think it'll be no surprise that I think the next 5 years, or certainly the future of CX, is going to be all about technology and particularly AI. And I think it will be about kind of anticipation. So I think the best organizations will predict what the customer needs before their voice. So without customers having to tell you what they need, I think there'll be anticipation around, this is what I think they're going to need next. Let's make sure we're set up for that. Let's build it. Let's also give customers what they don't realize they perhaps need yet. And I think a lot of that is going to be through using AI and data to provide that proactive support and the kind of communication before the customer even needs it. Now, where I think the kind of real magic, if you like, will come from will be how organizations do it. And I think that'll be through utilizing technology to make experiences feel more human, to be more seamless, to be anticipated better, quicker, slicker, all those typical things. But I don't think we'll lose the human touch at all. I think colleagues and people in organizations will be able to build relationships with customers, and the tech will support them to do the journeys or processes easy so they can spend more of their time building and helping customers. And I think the future of customer experience will belong to the people who earn the trust through kind of transparency and empathy, powered by that innovation. But ultimately, I think what I'd love to see is certainly CX being deeply rooted in organizations. So it's almost the first thought rather than the last thought, as it sometimes can be in some organizations.
Great, thank you. We've actually just recently hosted a webinar on this topic of anticipation and hyper personalization. So you can check it out on our website with Dr. Emmanuel Manianganisa. Thank you for sharing. It was very insightful, and thank you all for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.